Hey, I'm here with Tyler Hodge. He's the manager for the Waverly Varsity Wolverines, and we're glad you clicked on Morning Times Football Friday.
Go Wolverines!
Attaboy. We're in the home stretch of our high school football season. One of our teams is cruising, the other three are struggling, and this weekend, everybody's on the road.
Moravia and Tioga Central went into Saturday's contest each with one division loss. Both knew that the team on the losing end of this game had little chance of claiming the Section 4 Division 8 title. Moravia jumped out to an early lead, scoring just 30 seconds into the game. The Blue Devils held off Tioga's offensive attack, though, through the first quarter. But in the second, look out, here come the Tigers. Have a look at this offensive set. Anything seem odd to you? Number 90 lined up at power back. That's defensive end Cody Floyd. He gets the ball and does what a power back is supposed to do. When the day was over, Floyd had rushed for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns. David Ulrich was the leading rusher on the day with 134 yards and 2 touchdowns himself. Quarterback Cody Bennett covered 81 yards by land and had 2 scores. Also making the stat sheet, Tommy Ferguson, who took a kickoff return 81 yards to the house, and a short yardage TD by Lucas Douglas. The Tioga Tigers absolutely dominate Moravia 60-20. Saturday afternoon at 1:30, Tioga travels to Newfield to take on the so far winless Trojans.
Cody, tell me about the team's decision to move you to a running back last week.
It all happened last Monday, and it was a decision for the better good of the team. After the Groton game, they decided to open up the backfield, all positions. So I tried out, and it ended up working out. So.
And how difficult was the transition from offensive line to running the ball?
Learning the plays back there. I actually came in at a couple study halls to learn the plays and everything, just to get them down pat. But other than actually learning the plays, it wasn't that hard.
Coach, how big was the win against Moravia last week as you set up for the rest of the D8 season?
It was a huge win, especially in our division. It was a 4-way tie going into that game, and from here on out, it's a must-win. And that was the first game. I talked to the kids about take one game at a time, but we need to win out, and the kids know that, and that was a huge win for us. Good confidence boost, too.
And how are you preparing your team to finish off the season now?
One game at a time. We can't look ahead whatsoever. We just talked about that yesterday. We have Newfield this week. That's our next opponent. And we have to keep worrying about what we're doing and just get better in the things that we're doing.
Now, the championships aren't just decided by head-to-head competition. The Kelly-Redmond points system also figures in. There aren't enough minutes in this webcast or possibly in this universe for me to explain this to you. So you'll want to pick up a copy of the Morning Times Football Friday print edition and read Dave's explanation of the Kelly-Redmond points system and why it's very important to Tioga Central that Newark Valley beat Spencer Van Etten.
To say that things didn't go the Athens Wildcats' way down in Blossburg last Friday night is an understatement. The Wildcats met a tough athletic North Penn team that came into the game with only one loss, that being to Towanda. The Panthers held the Wildcats to just 144 yards on the night, including penning in Athens' leading rusher Casey Shiposh. He only had 57 yards. Athens' only score came on a 7-yard run by Austin Depew in the fourth quarter. The Panthers racked up 453 total yards as they topped the Wildcats 47-6. Friday night, Athens is in Towanda to face the undefeated Black Knights.
It was another rough weekend for the struggling Waverly Wolverines. They traveled to Southside last weekend and met a tough Green Hornet team that has found its groove with the pass.
The Hornets got 226 of their 372 total yards by air, added 3 rushing touchdowns and an interception return for a touchdown. Waverly's 2 scores came on a run by Trevor Noki and a pass completion from Dylan Gutierrez to Joe Grazel.
The Wolverines will have another tough outing Saturday when they meet the Shenango Valley Warriors up in Shenango Valley at 1:30.
Without a doubt, the heartbreaker of the weekend was Sayre's homecoming at the Lockhart Street Bowl. The Troy Trojans were in town, and though Troy dominated the game on the stat sheet, this one went to overtime. Troy only has 2 victories this season, but they're tougher and more athletic than that record would lead you to believe. They held the Redskins to just 185 total yards and forced 4 fumbles, but Sayre hung in there to make the game a nail-biter. Sayre knotted the score 24-all on a 90-yard kickoff return by Taylor Skirpon in the closing minutes of the fourth. The Redskins fumbled on their first possession in overtime, though, and the Trojans kicked a field goal for the OT victory. Sarah's on the road Friday night for an NTL small school clash with Muncie.
That wraps up another Football Friday web edition. Hit the road this weekend and support your favorite local high school football team. We'll see you back here next week for more highlights, spotlights, scores, and more on Morning Times Football Friday.